with Roman Reigns potentially injured after WrestleMania and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for April 4th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. After making his return during WrestleMania on Saturday, Cody Rhodes is set to appear on Raw following his win over Seth Rollins. During his BT Sport interview, Cody was asked about speaking to other AEW stars about joining WWE, as he replied, "I would only give somebody honest advice. That might be right for somebody. This was right for me. I don't know when the first. I think I know who those people will be because there are certain people who fit this superstar mold. I think I know how the types might be, and when they ask, I'm going to give them the best advice I possibly can. I can say though that the schedule here, at least the schedule I had the first time, is not for the non-committed. You can't be 1 foot. It is a full-time commitment. You're not getting paid to work 1 day a week. That's not knocking anybody who is. That might be the biggest shock and change. The structure here is positive. It's a wonderful structure. It's a little less punk rock, and punk rock is great, and then you want to play something else. That's what I experienced. When they start coming and talking, I'm sure people will make the transition. You'll probably guess some of the people who will come over, and undoubtedly people like Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, people will make that move there. It is a healthy thing. It doesn't seem healthy when you watch the show because all we're doing is talking trash about each other, which I really hope nobody here does because it's lazy. It's lazy, and you're discrediting what's built and got me. You're discrediting me, and you're incorrect in the sense that it doesn't matter. I'll always give the best advice because this schedule is not for everybody. WWE made it, WWE Nick Khan specifically made it so easy. There's a bus, your family, your wife, your daughter, red carpet. With that red carpet means it's time to get to work. I'm curious how I'll do it, but I'll never do it in terms of leveraging. I can only give honest advice because everyone's path is different. Rhodes would also note that he maxed out his experience in AEW. I really did have a solid experience there, but I feel the experience had maxed out. You never want to get into a situation where the love goes away. I know Matt, Nick, and Kenny, I don't know if they sit in circles and hate on me or talk poorly about me. I really do hope they would not, but if they do not know, I try to tell them on a regular basis. Absolutely love those guys. For the Mania post-show media scrum, Cody would also detail his meeting with Triple H after he took many shots at him in AEW. We did speak, and I think Triple H did it in such a Triple H fashion. Everybody had come on that bus to say hello, talk a little bit about what may happen, and the very last one was Triple H. My former assistant from AEW came as a friend, and he was on the bus, and he knows the world's worst kept secret that Hunter is my favorite wrestler. That was a really, this has been a wild, tear-filled weekend, but it was just a good moment. Also, to see him healthy, and I know the retirement came as it did, but to do some justice to not only see my favorite wrestler and somebody that, gosh, I wanted to model so many things after and such. Seth being his protege, and to be able to give some of those fan service moments for the fans and also for Triple H. That was really touching, and especially, you've got to put it in perspective. I talked a lot of smack. I destroyed his throne. I was very loud, very intent on getting angry. I was just angry, and that was just a moment of no anger. Because why would I be angry? You guys are paying me this absurd amount of money, and I get to be me. I get to be me, and especially coming from where I had left here, there's nothing to be angry about. It's more of a matter of one chapter ended, a beautiful chapter in AEW, which I'm so proud of, and then to start this new chapter here. I just kept saying out there finish. I wasn't talking about the match, but finish as far as what's next. When I started here, I have to finish if that makes sense, but I spoke right before with him, and I'm very excited to see him. With the Hardy Boys reunited in AEW, Jeff Hardy would mention during the Super Show media scrum that this run for them in AEW will be their last. Our last run. We're getting older, you know. I'm 44, Matt's 47. So I mean, it's our last run. It's going to be special, and I think AEW is the place we can actually do that open-minded. Like, it's free, so it feels so good. I'm right exactly where I'm supposed to be. For But the second night of WrestleMania, fans were treated to Triple H coming out and opening the show. The game would leave his boots in the middle of the ring, signifying the end of his in-ring career. Taking to Twitter, William Regal would react to his friend's gesture, writing, "For 28 years, we did our bit together. There were ups and downs, and some bad but mostly good decisions, to be pros and make the job right. Lots of people got opportunities and made memories for themselves. Job done, pal." While making his entrance at WrestleMania 38 for his match against Edge, AJ Styles could be seen bleeding as it appeared he cut his face. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer discussed what took place, saying apparently he cut his face on part of the stage. We immediately heard that it was a pyro mishap, but apparently it wasn't pyro. He slashed his cheek open on something, and boy, he came to the ring and he was pissed off. Speaking of AJ Styles, he would be asked by PW Insider where he sees himself in 2 years, as he said, "That is a tough question because I'm not sure how I envision it. I just hope that I'm able to stay healthy and excited enough to finish strong. I just want to keep going as hard as I can until I decide it's time to hang them up. The Undertaker was able to decide it's time to hang them up. I want to make the decision. I hope that's what I'm able to do in my career." For night 2 of Mania, Johnny Knoxville was able to defeat Sami Zayn thanks to his friends in a giant mousetrap. With BT Sports, Sami said that Knoxville's commitment is different compared to someone like Logan Paul. Yeah, it's almost a psychotic level. He would go to my Instagram profile and fight with fans in the comment section. What are you doing? He's filming a TV show. Aren't you busy? He's getting in the mud with trolls. He's a troll. He's trolling me. It really is crazy, man. That's a different kind of commitment. Even doing something with Logan Paul, who's a social media guy. He's not doing that. He's not bickering with fans. He's crazy. He's Johnny Knoxville. He's crazy. On the Wrestling Perspective podcast, Eddie Kingston revealed that after he defeated Chris Jericho at the Revolution pay-per-view, he went to his hotel room and cried. I remember after the match with Jericho, I went back to the hotel room before hanging out with everybody, and I just cried because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know whether to scream, yell, or whatever. I didn't know how to handle that moment. I still see myself as that 17-year-old kid on the street corner. I'm just trying to do good. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be better every day. During the WrestleMania panel, Seth Rollins would mention his former faction member Jon Moxley, saying he would see them in the ring together in the future. Well, to quote a famous dead man, never say never, baby. Who knows? Mox is doing his thing. Black Bolt Combat Club or whatever, running wild over there and doing his deal. He is simply a wild animal, man. You never know what will happen. He could show up right here. He might be behind the curtain right now. I have no idea. So if I get paradigm shifted on this stage, don't be alarmed. But I hope that we have not seen the last of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose in the same ring. During his main event match at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns would defeat Brock Lesnar, becoming the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Many took notice of Roman's shoulder during that bout. As one fan pointed out, Roman Reigns got his shoulder split, separated, whatever, in the barricade spot. Lesnar also did something to his ribs not long after that. Both wrestled another 10 plus minutes to that finish, Brock realizing that Roman's arm was legit out. Before leaving AEW to return at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes was not only a star and EVP for the company, but was leading a group of up-and-coming stars in his Nightmare Factory. On his podcast, Arn Anderson revealed that he and his son Brock are in limbo since Cody's departure. I'm at AEW TV every week, as is Brock. We're kind of in limbo as you can imagine, but we're there. Brock has had some matches on Dark. Hope everybody is finding those and supporting him in that venture. It really is the best way and the only way to get some reps in and it be televised. It's just a different vehicle you have to go to get it, being on YouTube. Arn would then reveal if AEW has a problem with having too much talent. I agree 100%, my son being one of those. You remember his debut match was being partnered with Cody. They had a really good match with QT Marshall and one of the other kids, but it's been so far back nobody remembers it. He had his 3 or 4 weeks. To his defense, because people get sick of me singing Tony Khan's praises, but his intention is now that he's assembled quite a hell of a talent roster to try to get everybody exposed. If you get 1 week or 2 weeks and then they move on, I get exactly what you're saying. In order to get a person over, you've got to have about 8 or 10 or 12 straight weeks of good TV. Now I am invested in this guy. Tony knows what he wants out of the shows. We supported him 100%. I do agree that talent doesn't get exposed. Dante Martin is a very special kid. He's got springs like nobody else in the business. Here just a short time back, he had 2 or 3 or 4 short good weeks, and now they disappear down the dark. It's a dilemma that we have. We will figure it out, but now you're bringing in Daniel Bryan, you're bringing in CM Punk. No matter what you've done prior to that, that's going to push everybody down a notch because those guys cost a heap of money to employ, and when you bring them in, they're going to take precedence over anything else they have going on. That's the dilemma that we have. We will figure it out because Tony's intentions are to listen to what you say and give you what you want. The other guy, Vince McMahon, which I have 19 years of experience with, says here's what we're going to give you folks. Either swallow it or spit it out. I don't give a shit. Tony listens to his audience and he wants to give you as his fans whatever it is. So hey, be vocal about that. He listens to Twitter, he reads Twitter, and he gives feedback. Going back to his interview with BT Sport, Cody Rhodes would recall telling Vince McMahon that he did not want to see or hear about his previous character Stardust ever again. There wasn't any true guarantees, there was a request. I said I never want to ever see Stardust ever again, I never want to see, hear it, or talk about it, and it was a handshake, and that was all I needed. Then the first thing I did in the match last night was a random Stardust reference. I thought, what are you doing? You're going back on your own strange request. Other than that, it was complex to get this all together and maybe one of wrestling's biggest contracts, which I'm so flattered about. I have a child, so yeah. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.